Now this is all going to sound very complex, so hang in there. Some of you may know I am suffering from RF and EMF, radio frequency electromagnetic radiation. Now that will come from non-ionizing radiation options such as your cell phone, your Wi-Fi, your monitors, your telephone, you know, things like that. But then we've got ionizing radiation, which is the sun, and nuclear power, because sun is basically nuclear power. It's just a byproduct of nuclear power, and it gets to us, and by the time it gets to us, it's gone and got filtered. Because if you were to stand on the troposphere, I suppose, the outer edges of our planet, and feel that sun, you get burnt, you fry up. But we have all of these different layers, and it protects us from the effects of the sun. So we've understood this for a very long time. One way or another, we may not know the exact scientific nature of the whole process. Uh-oh, that's not going to work, is it? Turn that off. But however, we've known this for a very long time, and civilizations before us have been very, very advanced. We can't even begin to consider how advanced they have been. They may have been far more advanced than we ever have been. You have to remember, we only invented this new technology quite recently. They may have had it for hundreds of years. Anyway, enough of that. I have been affected by electromagnetic radiation from a smart meter. It got fired up. I didn't know, but my bed was right next to it. I had a pussy cat, the cat died, and then I ended up with burns all over my face and fatigue and all sorts of horrible things, you know. Not too many, but enough, you know. Fatigue is a terrible thing. Anyway, I worked it out, and my blog, covid19.net.nz, tells you about how I worked it all out. But here I am today, and I am saying to myself, oh my gosh, I know that through all of my studies, I have known the symptoms I have today to be carbohydrate problems. I've been eating too many carbohydrates, and it creates this feeling I have today. Not getting enough sleep creates this feeling I have today. COVID creates this feeling I have today. Long COVID is exactly this feeling I have today, and electromagnetic radiation creates this feeling I have today. But also, if you happen to go on to a keto diet and then come off a keto diet, you'll feel exactly how I feel today. So considering all of these options, what have they all got in common? And I can tell you, it's carbohydrates. One way or another, I can connect carbohydrates to all of these events. And then when I look at my body today and I think, wow, it's in pretty damn good shape for a 63-year-old. It really is, you know, I'm not joking. And I'm not bragging either. I'm just saying it's an oddity when, you know, most of my age types of people have got a different body. I've got this body. And it's all because of the mucking around I've done with food over so long. I've experimented with so many things, you know. Here I have a little magnetic bracelet, you know, from a $3 shop, basically. And it is helping balance me. But if I want to go crazy dancing, I got to let this thing off. Because I want that vibration that's coming from the instruments to be absorbed into my body. I can feel vibration before I see anything else. And you can probably do the same. We're like bats. We can feel the vibration before the object hits us. Now, I've been very, very sick. You wouldn't know it to be watching this video. You'd think, no, that guy's fine. And I'll tell you why I'm okay. Hopefully I can find it. You see, I understand keto, and I understand if I put this fuel in me, I'll get energy instantly, because I can burn this I can burn this as energy. But if I stick a carbohydrate in my body, like a piece of bread, that's got to go through a hell of a digestive process. And by the time the digestion has happened, the digestion process has taken more energy than there was given by the food. Whereas oil are very, very high in absorbable and available nutrients. Now, as I said, this was going to be a bit crazy. And then I look at the historical record of life. And we've always had these solar things going on where the poles change on planet Earth. They've been recorded for millions of years. But apparently this doesn't affect you. You're fine. And then the solar flares hitting our planet at the same time. You're fine. I don't think so. I think we are being subject to massive amounts of radiation that we wouldn't normally experience. And that can be from the sun. It can be the changes in the magnetic fields. It can be from our foods. And it most definitely from smart meters. I think the problem for smart meters is this. You've got a smart meter and you've got basically a cell phone attached to it. Every 30 minutes, this cell phone dials home and lets them know what your power usage is. It sounds very smart, you know, that's great, I love it. And then I phoned up the manufacturers or the suppliers and said, how do you isolate the cell phone signal from the copper wires of the house? And they didn't know. And they should have been able to say that like that. Oh, yeah, no, it's isolated, or whatever it is, I don't know. And then I said, well, if you can't isolate it from the copper wires on the house, surely you can't isolate it from the entire network either. And the speed of light and the speed of RF radio frequency, it goes around the Earth 7 times in 1 second. That's how fast all this stuff is. So when my smart meter dials home, it's not just transferring that signal through the copper wires of my house, it's also transferring it through the national grid, and that's going everywhere. It doesn't matter whether you've got a smart meter attached or not. I have measured RF radiation within 500 meters of any power source. That's a power line, a light. And we've never had that amount of radiation in our world before. And it's complex. So there we are, since 2020, being immersed in the change of the poles, apparently, massive amounts of radiation coming from the bloody sun, solar flares and all that stuff, COVID-19, they all are creating the same symptom, which is RF, EMF, radiation poisoning. Now, to cure it, I have to go to India. I was at the Diwali at the weekend. It was fantastic. It really was. I love it. I had so much fun. And at the gate, they were trying to give me a ball of butter. Now, they call this ghee. And it's the rays of the sun. And I look back and I think, why? This is such an expensive process. But no, at a celebration, they give you ghee. Because ghee, I am guessing, has got the oils that your body needs to protect it from radiation. And when Jesus Christ was crucified, there was a shroud, and I have a feeling that he was highly radiated from the transfers of the poles. Or maybe he'd gone into an old place where there was lots of uranium and he got radiated there, but somehow I reckon he got radiation poisoning, and that his cure for it was to get into a bath, because that would cool him down, because your hypothalamus doesn't know that the skin underneath your skin is hot. So you get into a bath and then you cool, you have a warm bath and then you let it cool down, and then you wash yourself, and then you pour some ghee, maybe ghee, in the bath, or maybe, I'm not sure yet. I've got to work that out, because this is only something I've learnt today. And that's why they were given ghee, because that ghee would actually protect them from the rays of the sun, etc. Because I have to say that at the Diwali, the rays of the sun were beating down on us. That was so harsh. I couldn't stand it and had to get underneath a tree, and I saw many, many people under the trees. Anyway, here I am. What I'm trying to highlight too is this. If you want to beat COVID-19, long COVID, leukemia, EMF poisoning, stop eating carbohydrates and get some mid-chain triglycerides, bathe, oil your skin, make sure you improve your omega-3 intake. You need B vitamins. I've taken a woman's multivitamin. It's got loads of B's in it, I think. And oranges, yeah, possibly good. You need lots of vitamin C. You're going to get loads of vitamin D. These glasses, they look funky. I love these glasses. These are my glasses now. But what they do is they are the only glasses that reflect the photons. LED lights are causing photons to impregnate any material that it touches, and then when electrons glide over the top of them, they transfer, the photon transfers an electron to the floating electron, and suddenly we have more energy, and that's what's causing global warming. Look it up, check it out. It's called the photon electron effect. Anyway, here I am. I should be in a heap, but I'm not. I'm going to go to the gym and do some bloody exercise, and then I'm going to go and go for a quick swim. That will cool me down, and then go and do some music, because I've got some music in the bag. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been informative. Oh, now, one other thing is the pyramids. I mean, let's face it, the Egyptians were the most elitist people. We're going to get my entire country to make me a pyramid. What the hell? How many people died doing that? And for what? Because the Egyptians knew what was happening. We knew the solar system way back then, and the only way they knew to protect themselves, because the Egyptians weren't a very healthy lot, maybe because they were very old, or maybe they lived on, I don't know, I can't tell you, but there's no Egyptians around anymore. The people that are there today, they are not Egyptians. They've inherited the place by wandering upon it. But there we are. The Egyptians knew, and they built a point like this, and then put someone in a box right the way down here, and I don't know, maybe it was them trying to protect people from radiation. I can't tell you. Maybe they didn't understand that you couldn't survive being on your own all the way down there. I don't get it. Maybe I understand. There's a lot to be understood, but the one thing to understand is 1 or 2 people controlled the entire population, and they got them to do whatever the bloody hell they wanted. Sounds a bit familiar. It's been going on. History repeats itself. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.